let's not say versus here, let's say relationship. There's some relation between the magnetic field and the electric field. Okay, what is that relation, students? What is that relation? This is a very important concept. You see, till now, Oster, that teacher who was teaching his students here, had a table, right? And I told you that he had this current carrying some circuit, and there was a magnetic compass over here. And when he switched on the circuit, the magnetic this the needle of that magnetic compass deflected. It deflected. So what happened is he got an idea there itself. What was the idea? That there is some relationship, that as soon as he starts the electricity in the circuit, there is some relationship between electric field and the magnetic field. Why he came to know that? Because of course magnetic compass is used for what? It's used with it is, how does it work? It works with the help of principle of magnetism, magnetic field. It will work with that. Electricity works with what? Electric field, right? There is electric field. So there itself he got this idea, and he didn't work alone on it. He didn't work alone on it. But basically, some scientists came together. Some scientists, they came together. Some professors, some well knowledgeable people came together. At that point, degree didn't matter. Okay. At that point, knowledge mattered. And till today, also, knowledge matters. So develop your knowledge. Develop your knowledge. Okay. So F is equal to what? F is equal to, in magnetic field, students. In magnetic field, F is equal to Q B cross B. We know this. But in electric field, what was force? Can you tell me? I told you that if there is a charge Q here, and if there was a test charge brought from infinity, okay, Q naught, then what was the electric field intensity on this charge, students? Because of this fixed charge over here, it was a force
AQ.
experience. Yeah, it was the force experienced by this test charge, F upon Q naught. E is equal to F upon Q naught. So from this relation, we can say that F is equal to E into Q. Yes or no? Remember this? F is equal to EQ or QE, doesn't matter. So F is equal to QE, students. So if we got first relation of magnetic field, this is right here. That is, if both the forces can be equated, then I can say that QE equals to QV cross B. And therefore, you can see that E is equal to V cross B. Yes or no? You can see the relation. You can see the relation. But that is not important here. What I want to say is that magnetic field, magnetic force here, magnetic force. Which one? FB. Let's call it FB, and let's call this FE. Okay. So the magnetic force is always perpendicular to what? It is perpendicular to the velocity vector and the magnetic field. What is it perpendicular to? The velocity vector and the electric field and the magnetic field. But here what you can say, here the electric field is what? Is always parallel. It does not have a relationship of uh, it does not have a relationship of perpendicular vectors here. Okay, I told you, if electric field is this side, we have done a sum, isn't it? Electric field is like this, and there is a charge here. Then the force, let's say that this is positive charge here. Okay, then it will go in this direction. Yes or no? Why? Because you can imagine electric field to have been negative here, positive here. Considering this to be a positive charge, Q greater than 0, the force on this charge will be towards the right hand side with what force? F is equal to QE. Yes or no? Till here you understood? Till here is it understood? So students, basically, okay, we can say that magnetic perpendicular to the field. Okay, it's perpendicular to the magnetic field. This we have done so many examples. And electric field is always either parallel or anti-parallel with the field. It is either parallel. Okay, if this is E, Q can be either F is equal to E over here, or it can be anti-parallel. F is equal to minus QE over here. Okay, it can be parallel or anti-parallel in nature. And third thing what I want to tell you is that magnetic force, magnetic force is velocity dependent. Can you see? Magnetic force is velocity dependent. It acts only when the particle is having some certain velocity. In the start of the lecture, I told you current carrying conductor And if you bring a charge over here, if it is having zero velocity, okay, if it is having zero velocity, then the force experienced by this charge due to this current carrying conductor in terms of magnetic field is what? Force is what? Force due to magnetic field in this case is zero. So we know that the force experienced, force of the magnetic force here, magnetic force FB, okay, is dependent on what? It is dependent on the velocity vector. It is dependent on the velocity vector. While the electric force is what? It is independent. It is independent of any velocity. Okay, whether there is velocity or there is no velocity, it will still have its force on the charge. Okay, there is no velocity force. Electrostatic force does not depend upon velocity. These two things, these three concepts which I have told you right now is very important. It is very important. Now assume, okay, that B and E exist in a region. Both magnetic field also is there. Students, I'm telling you, there is a region here, imagine, where both B, magnetic field, and electric field are present in that region. Then let's also say that there is some velocity, there is a charge which I have flicked in the region. I put it inside that region and I flicked it with the velocity V. So I'm telling you there's also a charge with some certain velocity V. In that case, students, okay, the forces of the force on this charge due to the magnetic field and due to the electric field will add up. They will what? They will add. And in that case, I can say that the net force, students, the net force F net will be equal to what, students? Electric force plus magnetic force. Electric force plus magnetic force. Is this understood, students? All of you? All of you? Is this understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if these things are clear now, if these things are clear, let's get into the main concept. The main concept, that is Lorentz force. What is this called? Lorentz force. What does Lorentz force say? Lorentz force says that if magnetic field and electric field both are there in the region, both are there, and there is a charge in that region moving at a velocity v, then F net, basically net force, will be caused because of magnetic field and will also be caused due to electric field. And in that case, what is FB, students? FB is what? Q V cross B. And force, electric force, is what? Q into E. So this is your Lorentz force. That's it. This is your Lorentz force. What is this called? Lorentz force. It's basically telling you that a charge present in two regions, in a region where there are two fields, that is magnetic field and electric field. In that case, the force on the charge will be given by this formula. Will be given by this formula. So let's look at some cases. Let's understand this in a much broader perspective. So let's look at Lorentz force, case number 1. Let's visualize it also. So let's say case number 1. Case 1 is when, okay, is when all are parallel. So let's say the charge is having some velocity that is parallel with the magnetic field, and that is also parallel with the electric field. So can we draw this, students? Can we draw it? Let's say the charge is this charge Q. It is having a velocity v, and there is also a magnetic field in this region, students. There is also an electric field in this region. So students, we have already done a sum based on this. What is Lorentz force now? By now you should know what Lorentz force is. F is equal to F is equal to QE plus Q into V cross B. So students, before we understand, derive anything further, tell me what is going to be the effect of magnetic field on this charge. Forget electric field. What will be the effect of magnetic field on this charge? Will there be any effect?
No, sir.
There won't be any effect. Any others who say there is an effect? Okay, there will not be any effect. Why? Because F for magnetic field is Q V cross B. That is Q V B sine theta. Theta here is 0. Sine theta is 0. Force experienced by this charge due to magnetic field is 0. So in that case, will there be any field? Now forget magnetic field. Will there be any force experienced by this charge due to electric field, students? Will there be any force experienced by this charge due to electric field? Okay. Will there be? Yes,
Sir.
Yes,
it will be
sir.
there. And what will be
F
that?
electric.
What will be that force equal to? Q into E. Okay, it will be charge multiplied by the electric field. So if we know that the force experienced by the charge due to magnetic field is going to be 0, students, then your net force is going to be due to electrostatic force. Your net force will be only because of electrostatic force. The direction of the charge due to the force by electric field will be in the same direction now. Okay, here look at it, look at this. Q here, when I've written only Q, it means a positive charge. Okay, you can assume it to be greater than 0. In this case, electric field is having, how is electric field generated? From positive to negative. From positive to negative. In that case, not only will there be a force, but there will also be an acceleration towards the electric field, because positive charge will move towards the negative area, negatively charged whatever is placed here, which is causing the electric field. Students, one thing I want to tell you here. Sometimes in the problem, no, sometimes they give you questions, and they will tell you to find out the very same thing, but they will tell you to find out this itself, case number 1. They will ask you this, but instead of putting an electric field here, no, and showing you that there is an electric field, what they will do, no, they are very smart. You know what they do? They will just place a capacitor. They will put this entire thing in a capacitor. Now, of course, you should know that if this is plus Q here and this is minus Q here, electric field will flow like this. And you should be able to derive the same equation. Okay, these are some things I want to tell you. These are some concepts I've come across. So I'm giving you some tips regarding this. Okay, so if this is understood, students, let's go to case number 2. Let's go to case 2. What is going to be case number 2? We saw when all 3 components are parallel to each other. Now let's make one perpendicular. Let's say that velocity is basically perpendicular to both magnetic field and electric field, but magnetic field is parallel with electric field. I mean, yeah, velocity vector perpendicular to both these fields. In that case, students, can you draw the diagram? Can we draw the diagram? So let's say that there is an x-axis, y-axis, and a z-axis. Let's say that this is an x-axis, y-axis, z-axis. Now, what is it saying? That there is a magnetic field and an electric field. Okay, so I will say that my magnetic field, students, is like this, and my electric field also is like this. Okay, because they are both parallel. But my velocity vector is perpendicular to it. So let's say my velocity vector v is going to be where? It is going to be on the top, like this, z-axis, velocity vector v. In this case, students, in this case, can you tell me what will we get? What will we get? That means the charge is starting from the origin. Just imagine that. Well, okay, magnetic, this x-axis is coming towards you, students. This x-axis, just imagine, is coming towards you. Both magnetic field, electric field, both are outside the plane. Okay, when they are both outside the plane, students, okay, what will be the path of this charge, which is at the origin with the velocity vector upwards? What will it be? Apply your right hand rule. Take your velocity vector and curl it towards the magnetic field. Curl it towards the magnetic field. In that case, the force applied is this side. Consider this to be a positive charge only. Force applied is this side. So force is going to be applied this side, but of course centripetal force also is going to be acting on it. So what is it going to be? A circle. Okay, it is going to form a circle here, students. But students, now is there any velocity vector? Is there any velocity vector in x-axis? Is there any velocity vector? Yes, no? Can you see any velocity vector? I said velocity vector is only at z-axis. Can you see any velocity vector?
No, sir.
You can't see any velocity vector. So will this move forward or what? Will this move forward? Do you think this will move forward?
No, sir.
Someone says no. Someone says no. What about the rest? Do you think it goes forward? Students, apply your mind here. Reason out.
No, sir.
Someone says no again. Okay, we got two no. Now
Sir,
someone
because
is
there
saying
is
yes.
no V parallel.
Okay, there is no V parallel. Okay, students. Okay. So, but students, listen to me. There is a twist here. There is a twist here. Okay. What is the twist? There is electric field. If there is electric field, can I say there are negative charges at the end of this? And there are positive charges somewhere causing the electric field to be in this direction. Therefore, can I say that this charge which is going around here will be moving towards the negative charge? Yes or no? Yes or no, students? Q
Yes,
is
sir.
greater than 0. Yes.
Yes.
Electric field will definitely, I told you, electric field will cause a force on this. It will cause a force on this charge. Say, suppose the charge is here. Won't it cause a force Q into E? Will it not? Will it not cause a force on it? Yes or no? Not only that, forget it. Don't think of terms of force at all. Look here, positive charges here, negative charges here. This causes an electric field. There's a positive charge taking us roundabout over here. But because of these negative charges, the force, the charge will start getting pulled. There will be an attraction force between the positive and negative, positive charge and the negative plate here, or whatever which is causing the electric field. So in that case, students, there will be a path in which my charge will start moving forward. But students, now you have to tell me one thing. The thing is, you got to tell me is basically what will be the nature of that. Will it be a helix? Will it be a helix?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it will be a helix. Someone says no. Students, it will be a helix. It is taking a round here. So even if it goes forward, it is going to take a round only. It will keep taking rounds like this. But students, listen to me. Here, I am not talking about velocity. Okay, there is no velocity here. Here, what is there? Negative portions are there. Negative plate is there. Here, positive plate is there. Negative plate is there. Okay, positive and negative charges, when they come together, what they come with uniform velocity, or they start accelerating towards each other? Do they accelerate towards each other?
Accelerate.
They accelerate, students. That is the trick here. That is the thing to be thought of. So if there is acceleration, students, okay, at this point, say the velocity is v1. At this point, velocity will increase. At this point, velocity will increase. At this point, velocity again increases. So what is happening, students? Can you see what is happening? What is happening? What is changing here, students? What is changing? What is changing?
Velocity.
The pitch is changing. The pitch is changing. Yes or no? Why is it changing? Because it's not going to be uniform velocity. There's no speed. It's not going to be uniform. It's accelerating. Accelerating means basically rate of change of velocity per unit time. That means there's going to be a change in velocity as time increases, as time interval increases. That means at t is equal to 1, there is this much distance covered. At t is equal to 2, this much distance is covered. It keeps increasing, and it will keep increasing till it reaches the end of the, till it reaches wherever the electric field is basically being converged. Okay, so if this is there, if this we understood, okay, I will just read out something from the notes here. Okay, we know that since velocity is perpendicular to the magnetic field, students, okay, particle will have a what? Circular path. In which plane? It will have a circular path in YZ plane. It will have a circular path in YZ plane. But since, students, there is an electric field along the x-axis, the particle will be accelerated. Okay, the word here to be used is accelerated. Okay, towards the x-axis. This causes what? Variations in the pitch. This will cause the variation in the pitch. Now, students, important derivation comes here. Please keep your eyes over here. Pay attention. Pay attention. Pay attention. So, students, here we know that from the basic kinematic 10th standard equation, S is equal to what? Ut plus half at square. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
ut plus half at square, good, okay. But here can I say that my s, what is s basically in kinematics? What is s? Distance? Yes or no? And my pitch is also basically distance. But here you can see
Yes,
that
sir.
this distance is basically dependent on what? It is dependent upon initial velocity. It is dependent upon acceleration also. That is the reason we took this. That is the reason we took this formula. Okay. So in this case, I can say that my pitch is basically the s over here. I can say that p is going to be equal to ut plus half at square. But students, what is the catch here? What is the catch? Here u is equal to 0. Why? U is equal to 0 because it starts initially. Condition is always it starts at initial point, origin point. Velocity, I will take it as initial velocity will be 0. So, and in this case, what can I say? In this case, can I say my pitch is going to be equal to half at square? Can I say that? Yes or no? Can I say that, students? Can I say p is
Yes,
equal to
sir.
half at square? In that case, students, in that case, now comes the important part. How can I express acceleration? How can I express acceleration? Okay, I found out pitch is having some relationship with acceleration. But acceleration in terms of charge. Students, we have done this in the first lecture of our current electricity. Do you remember? You don't remember?
Sir,
No problem.
force is equals to mass into acceleration, and the force is due to the electric field. So we will equate Q into E equal to M into A.
Okay, good one. Okay, Ross, I saw your doubt here. No, initially we'll take the speed to be having 0 velocity, and later on we will take the velocity to be having some. We'll take the charge to have some velocity. So that should clear. Initial we will take it as 0. Okay, we are looking at a very ideal condition here. Okay, that what your doubt is basically that comes in dynamics. D for okay, dynamics it will come. That is movement of charges in dynamic situation. This is all very basic. We'll take initial velocity to be 0. So students, listen, just like how one student just said, remember, if you have to, if you don't need to buy hard stuff. Okay, if you want to find out acceleration in terms of charge, basically you should know F is equal to ma, mass into acceleration. But also you know that in electric field, F is equal to QE. So in that case, ma equals to QE, students. And in that case, A is equal to QE upon M. QE upon M. Similar way, you can find out velocity. You can use the formula V is equal to U plus AT. U plus AT. Please apply U as 0. Apply the formula A. You will get QE into T upon M. Okay, some tricks I have told you. This is how you derive it. Keep this in your mind. It will help you a lot. Okay. So we know that acceleration is equal to QE upon M, students. We know it is equal to QE upon M. Substitute that. What will we get? QE upon M and T square. QE upon M T square. But this is what? This is one pitch. Pitch number 1. This is basically pitch number 1. But what will be? What will be the entire distance from P1 to P2, students? What will it be? P1 to P2 will give me what? I know P1 is half QE upon M into T square. But what will be this entire distance? P1 plus P2? How much is
Yes,
that
sir.
going to be? How much is P1 plus P2 going to be? P1 plus P2 will be how much? Okay, you don't need to apply your mind here. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. See, students, you remember time period? I told you time period. Time period was what? T is equal to 2 pi M upon BQ. Yes or no? Can you see velocity
sir.
here? Can you see velocity here?
No.
Anywhere? You cannot see velocity. That means it does not depend upon the velocity. So can I say P1 plus P2 will be 1 by 2 QE upon M into twice the time interval. Twice the time interval. So T1 may P1 I got. T2 I will get twice the interval T1 plus another time interval T1. See, listen here. Listen to me. At T interval, we are getting P1. At this T1. At T2 interval, we get P2. At T3 interval, we are getting P3. Okay, here what is happening? The pitch will keep varying. Pitch keeps increasing, but my time interval remains the same. How do I know that? Because time interval is not dependent upon my pitch varying. It does not depend upon my pitch varying in nature. It does not depend. Okay, so in that way, I use this analogy to say P1 plus P2 is equal to 1 by 2 times QE upon M into 2 times the time interval. Time interval 1 T square, where P1 is covered in 2 times interval. Okay, P1 and P2 will be covered. Of course, T1, T2, T3 are all equal intervals, but in these equal intervals, my pitch is continuously varying. My pitch is continuously varying. Is this understood, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Someone has given a chat. Let me just see what is that chat. But the charge particle had some. Yeah. Ross, I told you that. Okay. So now let's look at another case, students. Do we have time? How much time we got? We got 7 minutes. We'll do that. Okay, 7 minutes should be enough. Actually, less than that. Case 3. Case 3. What is going to be case 3, students? Case 3, we will say that V velocity vector is perpendicular to magnetic field, and magnetic field and velocity vector is all perpendicular to each other, to electric field as well. In this case, students, simply draw the diagram. First, we need to draw the diagram. So let's say this is our x-axis, the y-axis, z-axis. Simple. Now, can you say what the directions will be? Let's say velocity vector, as usual, is on the top. You can take it in any direction, doesn't matter. Magnetic field is, suppose I take it over here, and electric field, I take it here. In that case, students, let's consider charge to be always positive, Q greater than 0. Okay, so can you see something here? Can I say that the magnetic field and the electric field are somehow, okay, equal in, see, okay, let's look at the forces. Okay, before this, let's look at the forces. Where will be the force on this charge particle having some velocity v? Okay, it's having some velocity v, charge particle, and this magnetic field is here. What will be the force, students? Where will be the force? Will it be? Where will it be? Students, due to the velocity vector in the y direction and the magnetic field in the x direction, tell me where is going to be the force
Into the
on the charge
board.
particle? Yeah, that way I will understand you all are understanding. Tell me that, okay? Into the board. So it will be into the board. Let's draw the z-axis inside also. Let's draw it like this. This is z-axis. Let's say negative z-axis, whatever. So our V cross B, when we apply V cross B, we are getting a force which is inside the board. So this is our FB. But electric field, where will be the force on the charge due to electric field, students? Where will it be? Where will it be? It will be towards the electric field itself. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So
Yes,
now,
sir.
students, can you see that electric field and magnetic field are in opposite directions? Okay, FB is anti-parallel with FE here. Both are parallel to each other. Both are parallel, but they are opposite in direction, and they are going to be at some point equal in magnitude. They are going to be also equal in magnitude. So if I am sorry, they are going to be equal in magnitude. So if force due to magnetic field is equal to electric field, and the same force opposite to each other, can I see an opposite direction? So in that, students, in that case, can I say that the net force on the charge FB plus FE will be equal to 0?
Yes, sir.
So, students, what is FB? What is FB? In case of V cross B, okay, Q V cross B, open V cross B, you get BB sine theta. And sine theta is what in this case? Going to be 0. So what you will get? Sine theta is, sorry, 90, and sine 90 is 1. Yes or no? This will be equal to what? This will be, sorry, this will be equal to, in terms of this equation here, Q times E. Yes or no? It will be Q times E. Sine 90 is 1. Sine 90 is 1. So QVB is equal to QE. Q and Q gets cancelled. So velocity V, I'll write it here. Velocity V will be equal to E upon B. E upon B. Okay, students, this is an important thing. This is used in the concept of velocity selector. This is used in the concept of velocity selector. In fact, this is only velocity selector. Okay, what I just said is,
So there
here,
should be a negative sign, no?
no. Why negative sign? Here, when you, these are vectors. These are vectors. Of course, they are equal in magnitude and opposite direction. You can put negative. Okay, you can put negative, no problem. Even if you add them, you're going to get 0 only by this relation. Okay, so QVB is equal to QE. That is what I have done. I know that the force of the magnetic field will be equal to the force of the electric field. Apply that formula, expand the formula, elaborate it. QV cross B equal to QE. Cut the Q's. VB is equal to E. Therefore, V is equal to E by B. So what we are understanding here is that if I am assuming the velocity to be in the y direction, okay, if I'm assuming the velocity to be in the y direction and the electric field to be in the z direction, magnetic field to be in the x direction, and I'm saying by doing this formula, I'm saying that the velocity of this charge is not being affected, at all with the electric field, or neither it's being affected with the magnetic field. Okay, at that point of time, FB is equal to FE, I'm saying. Then I can say that the velocity at which the charge will be undeflected, or there won't be any force experienced by the charge, okay, due to the electric field and the magnetic field, will only be at a certain velocity, and that certain velocity is given by V equal to E by B. V is equal to E by B. So whenever a charge is having this velocity, students, whenever the charge is having this velocity, okay, there will be no deflection in the charge. I will repeat the same concept tomorrow using velocity selector. Today is the end of the lecture. So thank you, students, for joining in. Hope you have understood all the cases, and do practice all your sums. Okay. Bye, students. Bye. Bye, everyone.